Hello, welcome back to another video that you guys are watching currently right now from 24th of May over here currently right now. So today I actually have a couple of things that I would actually like to talk about, by the way. And I think the first thing that we really need to discuss is about the Lunar Crystallize that we actually technically needed to skip apparently. Now I think a lot of people, most likely majority of you guys, most likely thinking that the reason why that we had to skip, by the way. And I think this totally comes around to only that we figured out in a way that why that we had to skip the by the way, you know. And I think the most important thing is that the rerun for Ineffa was actually a very strong uh, character that we needed to get, basically, by the way, right? Because we all know that they kind of like made the rerun character into a patch that had a combination of a lot of characters like Sandrone, Colombina, Ineffa, and Zubai all together. But I think the only thing about like reruns like that is that for people who gotten like Colombina and Zubai, and they had to skip Ineffa, is someone and some people that are actually regretting about that option, by the way, they have taken. Because for one reason is that yes, this Lunar Crystallize has a way of chilling, but I think the only thing that really benefits you in general with Lunar Crystallize is basically the Gecko boss. Yeah. And we have previously mentioned, I think previously before, but I think most people would probably already know about this, that the Gecko boss is actually had an extremely strong Lunar Crystallize shielding towards Zubai only. Not even Lenia can actually help you with that situation against that Gecko boss, by the way. So what really actually even helps you out is basically Zubai alone, by the way. But other than that particular shilling for that particular boss during that times that comes out for that guy, you don't really put your Zubai into use probably like a majority of your time, unless you do what would like to use it in certain time, but it's not so pressured for you to actually go ahead and use her, right? But without having to trying to figure out why you could not get Linear during, like a character like Ineffa during that time is also equally difficult for you to actually consider, because the patch rerun is very difficult for anyone to consider, by the way, and that is something what actually really happened during that time, by the way. Yeah. Because even in the current patch right now, that I personally do think that if I did not go for Ineffa, I don't think I would have the opportunity to have more potentials of having so many team compositions where I can mix and match with her, because that I personally am very thankful to have in FR and today right now is because that I can actually play in so many team compositions so well equally, by the way. And even Sandrone's team that's coming out in the next patch is actually very interesting as well, by the way, because you can also use your Ineffa along with that team and make a couple of team compositions that are currently in the rumors right now that you can actually use, by the way. It's very interesting and very unique, by the way.
So the situation is about way worse than I actually thought, by the way, right? Because like I previously mentioned about how like I don't have Durian, by the way, and most people already have him, and he's Hex and Circle, by the way, right? Now this is the bigger issue that we're looking at it, is because that if we are even gonna consider Nicole on a rerun, I have to hope that I can get another Hex and Circle character before her rerun comes out, by the way. Because a lot of people that regularly run my account, know about my account, or in me personally, by the way, really close friends like Gunit and Limzak and etc., says the same kind of thing. Like they're asking me questions like, am I gonna get another Hex and Circle character? Because that considering that Varka and Doreen just came out, doesn't matter if they're male or female, by the way, right? It's highly likely that's gonna be a less chance that they'll be releasing any Hex and Circle characters anytime soon in Snezhnaya. That's what people are claiming. Now, Alice was actually supposed to be a Hex and Circle character, by the way. She was skipped, by the way, right? So, who is going to be in Snezhnaya is most likely a questionable. But considering that we had three Hex and Circle characters, the people are claiming that we may not be getting a Hex and Circle character in Snezhnaya. It could most likely be completely a different, by the way, because they may not be running it like this every year, right? Yeah, but there's a potential for Nicole, maybe potentially for Nicole somewhere around Snezhnaya. We just would not know who and what is it gonna be like. Now, is it actually required? By the way, I have no idea. Now, I do not have Nicole, so I do need to know what is it like, because the only team that I can actually use her with on a rerun most likely is Alakino team. Now, does Alakino really need her? Probably not, because Bennett exists. Now, if I have Nicole, then Bennett's spot will be taken by Alakino. But who is going to be the other Hex character? Because clearly that Nicole is buffing a Hex and Circle character, right? I'm not sure. Maybe?
Yeah, so basically, Nicole has multiple characters that she actually buffs, by the way. If you guys were to actually go into her character, and there's a way that you can actually find out about the characters that all she buffs and etc. By the way, you can probably know about all the Hex and Circle characters she actually buffs, by the way. It is something they call it as witch's book, or like witch's homework or something like that. A page that I saw that people looked up in her kit or something like that, and it basically shows all the characters that she buffs apparently and etc. By the way, it's very interestingly unique, by the way, for a character like her. Now you can actually pair her up with many other characters as well, but I think the most important point that you always lose is that the Hex and Circle character that you could not have it. So now you can go ahead and use standard one, but it's not as same as having a Durin as a character there, or even a Varka being there for you to actually use a Nicole right there apparently, and that's the kind of point that you're losing out with. Now, do you really need to have Nicole right now? It's probably not currently right now. You can consider later when Snezhnaya brings out another Hex and Circle character somewhere, or by the time she reruns, and you can consider her, by the way. And that's the kind of decision I took, is to get her on a rerun as well, because with my Sandrone coming out, is more of an issue that we are having right now, that we can't really get Nicole, by the way, because if we were to get Nicole right now, we are most likely not going to be able to get Sandrone. And my plan is that because she's a Claymore character, being super conduct, DPS, main DPS and drone, it's gonna be rough without having her signature weapon as well. Now I'm at 35 PD on her weapon banner, so I'm also trying to potentially get her weapon as well, by the way, if I could afford, since I have a guarantee as well, by the way. So it's not just her alone, by the way. I personally do am hoping to also get her weapon as well if I can, by the way, right? So these are some possibilities that I'm also hoping for it as well, by the way, depending on where I do go and etc, and where I land on and etc on her banner and stuff, because she's going to be a character that's more useful for me personally as a super conduct, and she has a multiple different team potentials currently right now, is you guys most likely know. You can use Sandrone, Colombina, Ineffa, Zilonen as a team that you can also use with, by the way. And the other team that you can also consider is most likely Sandrone, Yai, Miko, Escoffier, and Chi as well. So she has multiple different teams that you can actually consider alongside with it, by the way. It's super cool, by the way, for you to do this. And I think the best team that you want to maybe you want to do it is, they call it Estella, Luna, Yuri, Sandrone, Colombina, Yai, Miko, Ineffa, which also works pretty well now. I did talk about how Ineffa is a very good character to use in multiple teams, and this is another kind of team you can consider. But her best team for Sandrone is actually not quite out yet. It's probably in late 7.0 at the moment, though. Yeah. So this is all I wanted to talk about. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on another video. Bye bye. See ya.